Going back to Tekken 6, Jack's arms would extend when he used certain charge moves, like back 2 or down back 2. He did not have this in previous Tekken games, so Tekken 6 was the first time he had these extendo arms, that he would continue to have in subsequent games, and when the best character Mokujin copies Jack. He of course gets the range extension too. But if you notice, Mokujin's arms don't extend as far as Jack's. That is because Mokujin has a unique static height, and any properties he copies from a character is scaled up or down to match his unique proportions. So Mokujin is shorter than Jack, so he has shorter reach. Another example of this is when he copies Elisa. It's a little hard to notice, but Mokujin's chainsaws are in fact a little longer and wider than Elisa's. Mokujin is a little larger than Elisa, and so his chainsaws are scaled up to match his proportions. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2, all of this gets transferred over. The extendo arms, the chainsaws, the size scaling. Now there aren't very many characters in Tekken that have range extensions like Jack, but there is one more, and I'm not talking about Prototype Jack. His arms don't extend, but neither does Mokujin's when he copies him. No, the character I'm talking about is True Ogre. Now True Ogre has these snakes on his right arm that extend out when he attacks, and let me tell you, reach is one of the big things about True Ogre's gameplay. Without it, he would be pretty awful. And I have shown that in Tekken Tag 2 and also Tekken 6 that Mokujin's arm can extend. So surely when Mokujin copies True Ogre, he gets a little bit of reach, because if he didn't, that would be a very egregious oversight. But luckily that's not the case, right? Oh no. Oh my god. It was best to pray or just give up because it's all ogre. Where do I even begin? Before going into the really bad stuff, let's start with the throw animations. Since Mokujin's arms don't extend, his throws look a little goofy. Looks like he's using telekinetic powers to thrash his opponents around. And now we get to the really bad stuff, like Fly 2. It only lands on characters standing straight up and at range 0. And of course, True Ogre doesn't have trouble landing it. And the throw will just completely whiff characters that are just hunched over or just too small. This throw is really good as a combo ender when you launch the opponent high up on the wall. It has a very good scaling damage. I mean, look. 129 damage for an unoptimized easy mode baby combo. And this hurts for Mokujin because he can't land the move, he misses out on big damage. This is a pretty common theme with Mokujin where he has to use weaker combos because he can't land the big damage and moves. And Mokujin has really stubby grab range, which is really bad because Waning Moon is one of Ogre's best tools. Throws were much more difficult to break in Tekken Tag 2, and Mokujin can't even get max damage out of Waning Moon. The end of a Waning Moon combo uses down forward 2 into down forward 2-1-2, but Mokujin's stubby arms can't even land the second down forward 2. It whiffs on most characters, landing only on Bears and Raven for some reason. So Mokujin has no reach, no wall carry, and no damage. Luckily, Mokujin can still do the Waning Moon tech traps and Oki at the wall. You just gotta of course use weaker combos, because up 3+4 does some very finicky things due to Mokujin's smaller size. And now for Mokujin's 2 moves, like down back 2, down 2, honestly, just never use it. Most of Mokujin's moves that use his right arm are completely useless. They're slow, have no range, the hitbox is jank, and with how good movement is in Tekken Tag 2, all it takes is just the slightest sidestep or just a half, or no, a quarter of a back step, and all your moves whiff. And the only usable moves is back 2, which is a safe, high, that counter hit launches, and while standing 2. Now these moves are pretty good with Ogre, but with Mokujin, they're just barely usable. The range is still garbage. Ogre's down forward 1 is a very good poke, but it has a surprising amount of knockback to it. If hit at maximum range, the opponent will be knocked back so far that Mokujin's short right arm will just completely whiff the second hit. But everything above the waist is short. Shorter arms, shorter jab, shorter headbutts, shorter torso. So you might be thinking, just use the moves at super close range. Don't do that. For example, down back 2. Even if you're in range, if it's blocked, it's negative 19. And the fully charged is negative 23 on block. For low, it's better to use down 3 plus 4. Good damage, unreactable, knocks down on counter hit. But it is negative 26 on block though. But at least it'll actually land. That's right, Mokujin's tail is kind of long, and the range is roughly equal to true ogres. So at least it's usable. Oh, and speaking of tails, check this out. I mean, not that kind of tail. Now some of you might be thinking, oh, he's just doing front flips. This is up 3 plus 4. It's supposed to do this. Now if you stand a short distance away, the move will land. But uh-oh, you take one step forward, and now the move doesn't work. Why does this happen? Mokujin's hitbox on his tail is completely broken. But let me give a possibly incorrect explanation as to what's happening. So here's true ogre. He's got a big thick tail with a big girthy hitbox that stretches up along his entire tail. So there's no way that it'll whiff if the opponent is in range. And here's Mokujin. And here's what happened to the hitbox. It was shrunken down to the tip of his tail, but it wasn't stretched. So it covers only the tip of the tail, and the rest is just a dead zone. So if the opponent doesn't have a larger hitbox, then the tip of the tail will just completely whiff behind the opponent. Why? Why is my favorite character so broken? Hey Tekken team, fix Mokujin. Now it's not all negatives. Take a look at this. So Mokujin has slightly longer legs than true ogre. It's a small positive, but at least it's something. So slightly better leg pokes like down back 4, sidestep 4. Standouts are up 4 and up back 3, which is Oscar's cartwheel. Oh, and the cartwheel is also a negative 23 on block, by the way, with no pushback. Now longer legs is nice and all, but the biggest benefit is that Mokujin hits lower. A good example is half circle forward 2. Now this move is bad in neutral, but in combos, it's really good. Now in certain true ogre combos, the opponent is bounded too close, so true ogre can't land half circle forward 2 because he hits too high and the opponent is too close. So ogre has to go for a different option, but Mokujin doesn't. He can actually land it, and HCF2 1 plus 2 does some pretty decent damage. Another benefit of hitting lower is that Mokujin can finish wall combos with down forward 2-1-2. The string also wall breaks. He can also finish wall combos with HCF2 1 plus 2, and being able to land these two strings consistently is very nice. In a big pile of negatives, it's very nice to have at least one needle of positivity. And since Mokujin has a smaller hitbox, he's also much more evasive. He can actually sidestep unlike ogre. Even with these few positives, still a very bad character, and with all these negatives. Some might think this is the worst character in the game, but let me hit you with a bombshell. When Mokujin copies true ogre, he's not bottom 5. Let me repeat that. This garbage character is not bottom 5. There are characters that when Mokujin copies them, he becomes far worse. And I mean far, far, far worse. But despite these flaws, I still love Mokujin, and Mokujin for Tekken 8. And that's everything for True Moku Ogre. The video is Ogre. Thanks for watching.